We are back. It's weather for Weather Geeks, the edition for Monday evening, April the 25th, 2016. Hope you had a good weekend. Our weather certainly turned around nicely yesterday, and today was another beautiful day. Our official high this afternoon, 79 degrees, that is, close to our forecast of 78. So we got a green check mark on the calendar today. We've taken our lumps a little bit lately with a few misses in the forecast. As you can see, for the calendar year 2016, we're running at a 70% accuracy rate. I'd like to see that number closer to 80, but we're going to try to get there by the middle of the summer, certainly, with hopefully some easier forecasts coming up over the next couple of months. And if you're new to this idea, we give ourselves a check mark if we're within 2 degrees, not 3, but 2 degrees for the afternoon high for the following day for the forecast made in the evening, or the same day for the forecast put out in the morning. A lot of times our evening forecast and our morning, the forecast issued the next morning are very similar, if not the same. We strive for consistency in addition to accuracy here. Take a look at the highs across the region today. Boy, a little taste of summer today. 80 in Cleveland and Mansfield, Toledo as well. Notice the breeze did Erie no favors at 61. Same idea up in Buffalo. Cold water at this time of the year, and spring sometimes is very elusive when you live near these cold bodies of water. All right, when I recorded this at about 7:17 p.m., we had a couple of thunder showers grazing the far, far northern part of our viewing area up around Kinsman, and then heading into far, far northern Mercer County. I'm going to keep an eye on this activity for the next hour or so, but for most people in our viewing area, our TV viewing area, it will be a dry evening. All right, off to the west, we have activity continuing to try to build across Lake Michigan, down towards the Chicago area as well. There's actually a severe thunderstorm watch out for parts of Wisconsin, Illinois, far northwestern Indiana through 10 p.m. local time, central time, this evening. Although severe weather, there's been some hail reports, but not a ton of severe weather out there with that watch box. All right, what's going to happen to that activity? Well, here's our high-resolution futurecast model for the night tonight. We're going to start this a couple of hours from now, right around 9. A lot of times on this model, things are a little overdone. You'll notice that, this just looks a little overdone. This looks a little overdone compared to what's on the radar. So you got to keep that in mind. This, at first glance, looks like there's a terrible, huge cluster of thunderstorms coming our way overnight, but don't think that's the case. We'll stop the clock here in the wee hours of the morning, 3, 4, maybe even 5 o'clock. I think most of us are going to get wet. I think some of us will hear some rumbles of thunder, but I'm not real concerned about severe weather or anything like that overnight. But sure, there could be some local downpours in the wee hours of tomorrow morning. This will try to shift off to the south then by daybreak, or maybe an hour after daybreak. And I'll tell you, once the sun is up, we're not going to see a whole lot of sun tomorrow, but there's not going to be a whole lot that goes on for the rest of the morning hours. It'll be around midday that we could see stuff trying to refire. So here's noon on Tuesday on our Futurecast model here, showing, with our cold front approaching, a skinny little band right at midday of pop-up showers. Maybe there's a thunder shower mixed in here as well. This will then sink off to the south, and just about everyone ends the day dry. 4 or 5 o'clock will be dry. Now, temperatures will be falling behind our front. Notice in Trumbull County, Mercer County, some places maybe already down in the upper 40s, lower 50s by the end of the afternoon. So definitely jacket weather if you are walking the dog tomorrow evening or have softball practice or anything like that. All right, so we go into tomorrow night. The sky clears, and a chilly but dry start to Wednesday. Severe weather, not really a concern here, but look at this out in the middle of the country. This will be a big ticket item tomorrow into tomorrow night. A moderate risk of severe weather. There's an outside chance they upgrade this to a high risk. Moderate risks are not uncommon in this part of the country at this time of the year, and generally what we mean by moderate risk, widespread severe storms. Some of these could be long-lived, and there could be some strong tornadoes tomorrow into tomorrow night. Long track tornadoes that stay on the ground a long time. And there could be some pretty impressive hail out here as well. So Oklahoma City up to Wichita, maybe as far south as the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. People are going to be very attuned to the weather out there tomorrow, because this will probably be the biggest severe weather outbreak of the season so far in that part of the country. Pretty good setup for severe weather. Just about a classic setup, really, a textbook setup. You've got all this moisture coming in off the Gulf of Mexico and running into all this dry air coming off of the Rocky Mountains. You have our upper level low out here across the Great Basin, and as this comes east, you'll start to see the air, or you won't see it, but you know that with an upper level low ejecting out of the Rockies, the air aloft will be diverging. Air parcels pulling apart. And when air is diverging aloft, it converges at the surface to then rise and take the place of that evacuating air up top, up at the jet stream level. So a little, basic meteorology for you there. But yeah, classic setup tomorrow. There's your dry line coming east ever so slowly, and boy, that's a textbook setup for severe weather out in the Plains states. So we'll cover that, no doubt, tomorrow. All right, a little bit of rain tomorrow will knock down our pollen levels somewhat. Tree pollen's been especially high over the last few days. It'll be more in the moderate range tomorrow. Grass pollen is starting to become a little more elevated as everything continues to green up. Just kind of a one-day break, though. I think Wednesday, these pollen levels are going to go through the roof again, especially if we get a little bit of a breeze in the afternoon. But we do have more rain coming our way Thursday to wash out some of this pollen. All right, speaking of the rest of the forecast, Wednesday's a mostly sunny day, partly to mostly sunny. Seasonable day, temperatures lower mid-60s. And then our plains system comes east in a weakened form and probably does produce some rain at times Thursday. This might be weighted towards the morning hours. Might not be a whole lot in the afternoon, but at least 1 or 2 periods of rain during the first half of the day. All right, last week on Weather Geeks and even on TV, I started talking about how the longer range, and what I meant by longer range was the very end of April, first week of May, was looking pretty warm. That ended up being what I called fool's gold, because the pattern is not going to evolve that way, it looks like, as we get a little bit closer here and things become a little more obvious. What appears to be happening is that some chillier air is going to make a lot of inroads in the lower 48 states in the medium range. Here's Saturday. This will be one of our better days of the forecast. We'll have some sunshine Saturday as a little ridge tries to pop up here in the east. But cold pull of air out here in the western U.S., as we go into the medium range then, sort of settles over the southern tier states and into the northeast as well. This is not a warm-looking map for the middle of next week, so this is 9-10 days from now. Got a vortex over southeastern Canada, a ridge out west. This is a cool pattern for the eastern U.S. Now we're into May, and averages are getting close to the upper 60s by the middle of next week. So a cool day in the first week of May means maybe highs in the upper 50s to around 60. It doesn't mean it's going to snow or anything like that. But yeah, coolish pattern. Boy, this looked a lot different on the modeling last week. But it looks like, yeah, 6 to 10 day, 8 to 14 day outlook. Pretty cool. Plain states up into the Ohio Valley, while the west will be warmer. Thank you as always for watching Weather for Weather Geeks Monday night edition. 21 News coming up tonight at 11. I'm going to be updating the forecast this evening. I'm going to be updating the app forecast as well. If you use our Storm Tracker 21 app on your smartphone or your tablet, if you haven't downloaded that, be sure and do so. It's a great app with great information in all of our videos, such as this one on the app. All right, have a good rest of this Monday night. More Weather for Weather Geeks coming your way Tuesday evening.